Cheers, I do, buckaroos. How the heck are you? It is Whiskey Wednesday, man. So here's what I got for you today. I got both rocks and neat, and I'm going to do the rocks first, obviously, because I don't want any more water to get into it. What I have done is I got 1.5 ounces of each. In each, I should say. It's Pearse or Pearse Irish whiskey. I'm not exactly sure how they pronounce it. Aged 5 years and 86 proof. So it is a blended Irish. Now, most blended, I say most, not all, most are 4 years old, and most run, standard is at an 80 proof. So I was curious about this one at 5 years, which just means being a blend. It just means that it has to be a minimum of 5 years. It is a blend of grain and malt whiskey. Pearse Lyons Distillery, Ireland. Anyway, there is some other writing there, but boy, it is so small. It is so small, man. So that's interesting. So the nose on the rocks, anyway. It is aged in bourbon cask, just so you know. So you get a lot of very dry toasted oak on the nose. A little bit of vanilla. I feel like I'm getting some apple-like notes as well, kind of green apple. I'm gonna take a drink. Oh damn! Wow. Wow. It has a look. It almost looks like it'd be a malt whiskey or single malt whiskey or an all malt whiskey. I guess that's been done now too. But it does. You really feel the malt flavor. It does feel more like a malt than a blend. Those malt flavors are huge. She can make you happy. Gosh, that finish is exquisite. Wow. It does have that malt like wow. That's a little bit smoky in the finish. I don't know if it's peated or not. It didn't say on their website. But boy, those you get a little smoke. The nose, crisp citrus. And spice, yeah, you get a little bit of spice, vanilla, sure. Mellow malt, yeah. Yeah, a little bit of honey. I should have mentioned honey and floral fruits. Sure, why not? The palate, light, smooth, very smooth. Citrusy taste. I gotta admit, I'm feeling more apple than I am citrus, but that's probably just me. I'm getting some pear. They say some spearmint. Yeah, I can feel that in there. Chocolate. Yeah, I don't know about that. Light oak. Feel like a very dry toasted oak spice. The spice is very light for me. Creamy vanilla. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Light caramel, sure. Yeah, it does all of that. They're not mentioning the smoky notes that I'm getting, but that could be me as well. Yeah, I should have mentioned honey. I was thinking honey. What I mentioned because it feels like a combination of vanilla and honey going on there. It is very subtle, which isn't to say that it's boring. And I think that's what a lot of folks get wrong. I've heard a lot of Irish whiskeys described as boring. Well, subtle isn't boring. You just have to have the palate to dig those flavors out. I mean, lobster is subtle, but it's definitely not boring to eat, and I think that kind of gets lost. Especially if you're comparing Irish whiskey to Scotch, which is a different animal. Scotch is very bold, very distinctive, but that's one reason I've always loved Irish whiskey is the mellow nature. You know, how subtle those flavors are, and how it just begs you to drink more. I don't know if you can hear the music. I don't have it very loud at the moment, but I do have some Delta Moon in the background. Why don't I have some Irish music playing? That's a good question because I haven't found any Irish bands to give me permission to play their songs. But if anybody out there is listening, hey, I'd love to play some Dropkick Murphys or some Dubliners or Young Dubliners or Flogging Molly, anything. Anybody wants to grant me permission to play their tunes, by golly, I love to be cranking a Dropkick Murphy smash shit up right now, I gotta tell you. That song is really speaking to me at the moment, as is this whiskey. I don't want to take too long to drink this on the rocks because I don't want too much water to get in here. Because of the subtle nature of it, I really think it probably is a whiskey that you should drink neat. But yeah, I'm probably right at what I typically refer to as a sweet spot. It has just gotten very sweet right now. You can really feel those honey notes. The spearmint that they talk about, it really, I'm at that part in the drink where it really comes out. I'm still not feeling the chocolate they mentioned. That I'm not feeling, in all honesty. As far as citrusy, yeah, you might get some citrus. I'm feeling apple though for me. Guys, that's absolutely gorgeous, man. So now let's get to the real thing here. I got 1.5 ounces poured in my neat glass. Oh, so here, that's funny now. So here on the nose, I can't smell those chocolate notes that they're talking about, whereas rocks, it killed it completely. A lot of spice, the citrus notes are more apparent now as well. Like a smooth, sweet cream vanilla. And I feel the oak, but it comes off different on the rocks. You really feel those toasted oak notes, whereas it feels different here. Neat. I'm just going to take a drink and quit talking, okay? Yeah, shut up, Tom. We don't care. In my virtual pub, you're at the pub with the Beer Whisperer. I joked with some friends in some other social media groups that hell, I was doing the virtual pub before they became mandatory, man. That was my shtick way back when. I'd call them drinking with the Beer Whisperers at the pub with you're at the pub with the Beer Whisperer. Whereas, you know, sometimes I'd have guests, sometimes just me talking to you all, but I've always tried to do my videos as if we were in a pub together. I've never called myself a beer reviewer or a whiskey reviewer. I don't like that title. I would rather be a guy that appreciates beer and whiskey than a beer reviewer. So I've always felt that we were more having a pub conversation, man. Gosh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, I am feeling more of those citrus notes now. The flavors do change a lot on the rocks. And quite frankly, they're not as subtle drinking it neat, and they're much more apparent. Well, I wish that lettering was just that man on that. That's just hard to read, man, for old bifocals. Anyway, old eyes and bifocals, man. I do need some new glasses. These are damn near 2 years old, and I know I need new glasses desperately. So I said the spice was muted. It is on the rocks, but not so neat. Let me take a drink and talk to you about that. Typically, it's not unusual to get a whole lot of cinnamon, but here I feel more of a baking spice, a combination of cinnamon, allspice. You might feel some cardamom as well, and some other things. But the cinnamon isn't as bold as a lot are. But I swear I'm feeling some allspice, ginger, nutmeg. Yeah, I really feel a ginger note. Sometimes it takes a minute for my brain and mouth to get on the same page. Oh, this stuff's absolutely brilliant. I gotta tell you, for Whiskey Wednesday, it's absolutely gorgeous. It runs just a hair under 30 a bottle. It's on the higher side for a blend, but there are blends at a higher price. And although it's not a single malt or an all malt whiskey, You certainly feel the malt more in this whiskey than any blend that I can recall at this very moment. You really feel those malt notes. So if you're not sure if you're going to be a single malt guy, this might be one to cut your teeth on because it has big bold malt notes for a blend. So I am feeling some orange notes now that I wasn't getting. And the spice, you can barely feel the spice in the finish when you have it on the rocks. But here, neat, you really feel that spice come at you right in the finish. It's very beautiful. It is. So having said that, I said it was subtle. It becomes subtle when you put it on ice. It's not so. It's not as subtle. Neat. It's absolutely beautiful. So I do recommend drinking this whiskey neat. However, I will say, try it on the rocks, but don't let it sit too long. Don't let it sit too long on that ice, man. And I wouldn't be opposed to just getting it cold and then pouring it back and starting it colder. It isn't a whiskey that I'd shoot, to be honest with you, because I want to savor these flavors. This is brilliant. For under $30 bottle of Irish whiskey, it's absolutely brilliant in my opinion. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer. You're at the pub with the Whiskey Whisperer, man. We've been doing the virtual pub for a long time. Before they became mandatory, man. I am the Whiskey Whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor wisdom, man. All right, good guy.